get your name, please?
Matt.
Matt from?
No, we got Lance Bushville.
Bushville?
Matt Bushville.
Tom
Bushville.
Your name?
Bud. Renninger.
Well, we're here now.
Ed.
What? Your name? All right.
Steve.
All right, guys. Again, my name is Christian. I'm from Honduras by way of Miami, Florida. We're a small family company. We make Camacho cigars. We're very happy you guys are here. We're able to present our product to you guys and introduce you to a whole new line of products. Have any of you guys smoked Camacho cigars before? Which ones? Camacho Venom, right?
Yeah.
Hey, how you guys doing? Good. And your names?
John.
John? Carl. Carl. All right. Have you guys tried Camacho cigars before?
Yeah.
Which ones?
The 1066?
Right.
Yeah. I don't remember, but they were pretty good.
Oh yeah, good, thank you. What about the rest of you guys? Which ones have you had? Has everybody here had the 1962 before? Oh yeah? Hopefully we'll be able to introduce you to a whole new line of products. I want to go over the entire Camacho line. So while I talk, I want you guys to try the 1962 if you don't mind.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, Camacho Cigars is a company that really, the Camacho Cigars itself was founded in 1959, but our family, we kind of merged our family's involvement. We didn't merge until 1995 when our family bought the Camacho Cigar operation, 94, 95. My father was a tobacco grower. He landed in Honduras in about 1962. He was always in the tobacco business. My grandfather was in the tobacco business. My father was in the tobacco business. And in 1962, when the embargo was established, he was invited to go down to Honduras to grow some tobacco. And back then, he used to focus on a lot of different varieties than we grow now. Especially, you guys familiar with Candela tobacco? The green wrappers? Candela tobacco is a Connecticut leaf that when it's done and you hang it on the barns, the fermentation barns, you put these temperature grills on the floor and you raise the temperature to 120 degrees. And what that does is it dries the leaf, but it keeps all the chlorophyll. So then you get these green leaves. And actually, let me show you. We got a cigar on right there. It is what you end up getting. So it's a green wrapper like that, because it's filled with chlorophyll. The funny thing is, if you got one of these cigars, you took the band off, you would see how the color has changed already. Because they're very, again, the chlorophyll's in, they're very, very susceptible to light. That's what affects it. Have you guys ever tried a Candela cigar before?
Yeah, they have like a grassy vegetable taste.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I could smoke like one a week, maybe. But I mean, a lot of people love them. A lot of people swear by them. A lot of the old timers like them. Because in the 60s and 70s, that's what was very popular. And eventually, we ended up going from the Candela trade. The Candela business dies out sometime in the 70s, maybe early 80s, as the cigar trend started slowing down as well. We got more involved in the Connecticut varieties, and we got involved in the Habano varieties. Our company started off as what was called Upman International first. My father used to make the cigars for Upman International, and Upman International the brand was C. Upman. The guy was brothers with H. Upman. They split up sometime in the late 1800s. They were a Dutch family. So, the person that's with us, his name is Sal Fontaine, he owned the brand Carl Upman. He lost that name, and that name became Baccarat. If you look at Baccarat, if you went online and you look up the brand Carl Upman, the brand still exists in Europe, and it's basically the crest. That's the Carl Upman crest. But all he did was change the Baccarat name, or take Carl Upman out of that name and put Baccarat in there. After he does it, of course, then we get involved into a 10 or 12-year lawsuit with Baccarat Christmas, the French people. So at some point in time, the Europeans have always been after this brand. We resolved that issue as well. So once that got cleared up, we finally began to push Baccarat. Background is still our best-selling cigar, and it's probably 10th or 11th in the country in sales. Fantastic. Have any of you guys here ever tried a Background? Yeah, man, it's a Connecticut wrapper. It's a mild cigar. It's got a sweet cap. Perfect morning cigar. I mean, the price. What's the price on these, man?
$3.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, $3 a stick. Yes, they are from Ecuador. Because what happens is a lot of people, the Connecticut here in the U.S., you grow this seed here, and the way they ferment it, they don't fully ferment it because of the labor process. So Ecuador got into the Connecticut business. The guy who started this operation, his name was David Perez. He was a botanist. He used to come up with the seeds for General Cigar that had the operation here in Connecticut. He started growing in Ecuador. Ecuador's got volcanic soil, and apparently it's pretty cloudy. So the sun never really shines very hard. So the tobacco there goes beautifully. So we buy a lot of this Ecuador Connecticut wrapper from them. We grow some of it ourselves, but we found that nothing beats the quality from these people in Ecuador. It's just great quality. It's fantastic. So this is a brand that's very dear to us. In family business, you become attached to a lot of stuff that you do. A lot of brands are very special. The first cigar I ever smoked was one called La Fontana, which is very similar to the Baccarat. That wasn't until, I think, Thanksgiving 1992. And then it wasn't until probably the mid to late 90s when I actually learned how to smoke cigars and I really got more involved in it. And I started working with my family, with my father in 1995. It was actually June 28, 1995 I got into the cigar business. I started learning a lot about the production, about raw material, about fermentation, the box factory, anything and everything that has to do with production. But I didn't know how to smoke it either. I was learning how to smoke. I was trying to figure out how to finally get the smoke to a place where I can taste it. When you blow it out your nose, you run it through your palate, you get all the flavor from it. And then you begin to understand what different types of tobaccos taste like. You got the thicker wrappers taste like this, and the thinner wrappers, but if you blend them together, they change into that. So it really becomes this cacophony of flavors until you finally figure out how to do it right and get the right flavors. So blending becomes a big part of what we do. And so every year we're always trying to come up with different blends and trying to change the way people taste cigars. Because oftentimes you get a lot of people that you'll smoke a lot of cigars maybe from the Dominican Republic or Nicaragua, and then you go from box to box and you realize that they sort of taste similar. So it kind of becomes a turn off, and it's tough for you guys, I understand, for you guys to really understand. I walk into a store and see so many brands. How can you guys really understand the brand? So I'm glad you guys are giving me 20 minutes of your time today so I can explain it to you and go over one by one. I talked a little bit about background. I want to talk to you guys about the Camacho Corojo. This brand is made with a seed called Corojo. Corojo is the seed that made Cuban cigars famous. It started being grown in an area called Puerto Abajo. The farm's name was Santa Inés de Corojo. It was a family named Diego Rodriguez was the old guy's name. And he would grow the tobacco. It was a traditional Cuban seed. And he would grow this tobacco in this one farm, and it kept yielding a different flavor every time. And they would take the pick of this crop, and they would replant that seed all the time. A few years go by, and people said, hey, I want some of that tobacco from El Corojo. El Corojo. So that became the name. That's where the name for that seed comes from. Now this gentleman, Diego Rodriguez, took that seed to Nicaragua and grew a lot of it during the 60s and 70s. It's very common. In 1987, well, in the late 70s, blue mold, which is this blue mold that's airborne, and it has an immune system, sticks to the tobacco plantation and just kills crops after crops. And no one knows where it came from. People believe that it actually arrived in Central America on the boats that would come from Cuba to Nicaragua. Because it's airborne, I guess it would stick to something. Then it got to Nicaragua and Honduras and just completely destroyed everything. This is probably in 76. Well, 76 all the way through the 80s. And that's also came, not that it came at a good time, but fortunately the cigar business was also on its way down at that time. So really there wasn't that much pressure to come up with different leaves and different varieties. Cuba abandons the Corojo leaf, the Corojo seed in 1987, because they just couldn't deal with the blue mold. They couldn't deal with all these different issues. But they also established the Tobacco Institute that was funded by a French monopoly, and it started working on the different hybrids. The first one that they came up with, I think, was called H92, Havana 92. Then they came out with Havana 2000, I'm sure everybody's heard the name. Then Corolla 99 and Corolla 98. So everybody abandoned the Corolla seed. Once we understood the blue mold a lot better, and this seed, the authentic Corolla seed had been sitting for about 20 years, we decided to try it again. Maybe 12, 15 years. We decided to get it from Diego Rodriguez. We started growing the seed back in 1997. Fantastic. Well, the first crop wasn't that fantastic. It was kind of terrible. But then the next crop really got very good because we understood the right season. We understood when to grow it and how to blend it, how to ferment it. It was a seed that no one had touched for 10 years, right? And in Central America for 15 years. So we finally began to grow this thing, and we realized that this tobacco gives you a lot of body and absolutely no aftertaste. So we finally decided to launch this cigar in September 99 was the first drop. And it wasn't until June of 2000 that we understood a lot better, and that's when we launched the cigar. Camacho Corolla really is what started the whole full-body cigar trend in the U.S. You understand? I mean, you guys been smoking cigars since 2000. How about since 95? 1995? How many people started smoking cigars in 98? All right. What happened at this period of time, it's a very crucial period. That's why it's good that I asked this question. That's when the cigar boom hits, 95 to 98. Which what you have is the previous boom was in 1970. So there really is a generational gap. Oftentimes what happens is, when you're a child, you grow up, your father smokes, he gets up to a certain age, maybe you smoke, maybe he doesn't smoke as much, but then the children get introduced. So we do, historically, there's always been a 20 to 25 year gap between every single boom that there's been, and it really is a generational thing. It's pretty interesting the way it works. So a lot of guys get introduced to the market. And there was such a variety in the 90s that when the boom finally ends in 98, 99, and we come out with this product, fresh breath and fresh air, people come in and say, man, this cigar is fantastic. It tastes differently. So what happened to our company was just something dramatic, man. The Camacho Corolla developed into something that people really like. We start selling in a lot of different places. And the brand itself, people start thinking, man, that's such a full-body cigar. Today, there are cigars that are so much stronger than this one. That this one, a lot of people tell me, well, that's a medium-body cigar, right? I go, yeah, I gotta agree. But at that time, in 2000, it was pretty a full-body cigar. Now, this cigar, because Corolla is still my personal favorite tobacco, I had one cigar I used to make for myself all the time, which was made from the top part of the plant. It's called the Diploma line. The Diploma line, we have it available in 5 sizes. This size, the 822, is exclusive to Cigars International. It's torpedo shaped. Basically what we do is we take that plant, and the very top leaf is called the corona leaf. It's called the corona, the crown, because if you think of it, if you think it's a flower being here, the leaves are up top like this, so it kind of looks like a crown. Now, because this leaf is at the top, and when you start priming the leaves, these leaves are the last ones to stay on. They got all the punishment from the sun, the wind, the water, and now they're getting all the nutrients. It becomes the thickest leaf in the whole plant. So the yield isn't very much, but the leaf is very thick. So I started making cigars with that, using that as the wrapper. Which, my father would criticize me a lot for doing that because the tobacco never really burns right. And it's not. Oftentimes I tell people, if you get a diploma that's burning right, you probably got a fake one. Or it's a bum, put it down. Yeah, but the tobacco is usually very thick. It'll give you a nice dark color, but it's full body. But the important thing is, it's full body, it's got no aftertaste though. So Diploma really is my single favorite cigar. That's a cigar I smoke every day after lunchtime. It can't be, I'll travel on the road sometimes, and the sales guys already know to have some diplomas for me. Joe screwed up last week, he almost lost his job because he didn't have any diplomas for me. It was terrible, man. I don't know. Cigars aren't addictive, but you're used to getting some sort of flavor all the time. And I like to try them when I'm on the road because cigars do change flavor in different markets. A cigar you smoke here doesn't taste the same as it does in California, as it does in Honduras. So I like to taste what they're like. I used to grab from the stores also because I want to see what they taste like in the stores. So that becomes the benchmark for Camacho now. So Camacho, people begin to know Camacho as a full body cigar. Because at that time, there were a lot of Maduro cigars also. Maduro was very popular during the boom. But a lot of Maduro cigars that I would taste running around in the different stores were mostly Dominican companies. And the cigars really weren't that strong because Dominican tobacco was never known for being a full body tobacco. So I decided to go ahead and try to use the same idea of coming out with a full body cigar, but with a broadleaf wrapper. That's when we developed the Camacho SLR, which now we changed the box to this red box now. Camacho SLR is a full body cigar. Has anybody here tried the Camacho SLR yet? Alright, the Camacho SLR is a Maduro with a U.S. Connecticut broadleaf. And it's a full body broadleaf, so it really looks like what it's going to taste. Have you guys ever had a Maduro that just doesn't taste that strong? It happens very often, you know. Maduro, the name itself, the word means mature. So Maduro was from the top plants. You know, the rule of thumb is the thicker the leaf, the darker it's going to ferment and the stronger it tastes. It's different with U.S. broadleaf and Mexican. You know, those two became the most popular because they ferment very dark, but they also give you a very sweet flavor. They're not very strong tobaccos. So we wanted to go ahead and make sure we use some of our Corojo filler. And once you put these wrappers on it, the taste is fantastic. It really is a good tasting cigar. You know, how many of you guys like full body cigars here? How many of you guys like medium body? Couple guys. All right, but how many of you guys like all cigars?
They're well made.
That's where I should start. If they're well made, yeah. I mean, those are two things we always guarantee, man. You're always going to get a perfect draw from our products. You're never going to get it in the aftertaste. Those are the two things we focus on the most.
So use draw testing machines?
We do. The way it works is, pretty good question, man. The way it works is, you know, because these guys do it all the time in the factory, you can pick up a cigar. If I'm there for 3 or 4 days, I can finally get it again. When you pick up a cigar, just by feeling the weight, you know that cigar is overfilled in there. And then the next thing you do, the trick that you guys can do all the time, is look at the foot. If you see that, when you look at the foot of the cigar, if you see that those leaves are stuck together, don't get it because it will not drop. Sometimes you feel a cigar might be hard and solid, but if you see spacing along the foot, I mean, don't worry about it, it'll be all right. I mean, if you pick up, usually a Maduro cigar will be a lot heavier than a regular cigar because the leaf is thicker. But, so what happens is, the bunches will be made, the supervisor will go to the buncher, you'll pick up the cigars and say, look, you know, these cigars don't feel right, come with me. And then they'll go in, they'll do a random testing on them. And then during the day, that's all, we got a crew of guys, about 7 or 8 guys, we got about 10 machines. And that's all they do all day long, man. At random. They'll go and, okay, come here, let's go check your cigars. And then make sure that the bunch is always there. Because these guys get paid by piecework, so we want to make sure they don't get treated unfairly. We have cigars that don't draw. When we install the machines, we're 1% of our production, which is ridiculous. Now, you know, that average is down to nothing. I mean, almost perfect. So really, I've had one argument with one customer one time. I said, bro, you know, tell me anything you want, but don't tell me the cigars don't draw. The guy actually had the cigars, he kept them because I was coming. And we started drawing these cigars, and I mean, they were perfect. The guy was just being a pain. So anyway, that's the one thing. So if you ever want to get me going, tell me the cigars don't draw. So that's one thing we're real proud of. So we developed the Camacho SLR with a broadleaf. Becomes extremely popular, and then that just cements the image that Camacho Cigars makes full body cigars. So from then we go ahead and we develop the next one, that is the Coilar. This one over here. Camacho Coilar is a cigar. It's got the black band on it. It's named Coilar because that's the name of this one farm. It's my father's favorite farm. It's a small farm. It's about 55 acres. And the tobacco from this farm is strong, man. The soil's so rich and we've never grown this variety on it before. So cigars really were originally extremely strong. I had to tone them down to the extent that they really make you ill when you smoke them. You get cold sweats, and the stomach starts spinning. You guys ever had that before?
Cold sweat. Yeah.
Man, Coca-Cola, that's your cure. Drink, yeah, man. The sugar, and you take 2 swigs and it cures you just like that. Wow. It's amazing, yeah, man. Cool. Tarakia does that to you also? Yeah, man. You know, some people say it's nicotine overdose. I don't know what it is. And I assume it's the coke, the sugar in the coke that cures you. Either that or the flavoring, or it can't be the water. So, this one comes in natural, dark natural. You guys have any dark natural? Where's Matt? Right? I don't think they have any dark natural here. The natural really aren't that strong. So as we continue progress, we began to realize that we were scaring a lot of people out of smoking Camacho because we were focusing too much on full body cigars that a lot of guys that don't like full body cigars didn't want to try them. They would just look at the box and they get kind of scared. So one thing that we did was we started coming up with different ideas on how to lower the strength or coming up with blends that weren't as strong. And one of the first projects was one that we did with Cigars International, which is a cigar we handed out now, which is the 1962. 1962.
No,
Are they too strong, you think?
no.
Oh.
No, I was saying if you want to make them weaker, you just inject them with estrogen.
You get in trouble.
That's not politically correct.
Anyways, we come up with 1962. That's when we handed out to you guys, and we wanted to come up with something medium body. The cigar we handed out now. So now we begin to attract a whole new group of customers, and we realized that look, not everybody likes full body cigars. I mean, we've always known this, but we're just trying to figure out how do we introduce more people. It was part of our pleasure, my father's pleasure, my pleasure, is to see people smoking cigars. I mean, the best compliment that we can get is when you see a cigar butt on the ground, smoked almost to the band. It's got your band on it. I mean, that's the best compliment ever. So once you're looking at this and you watch people like at the golf tourney I was watching it, you just pay a lot of attention to see how much people are smoking. And that really is the best you can do. And if you tie it up with a good occasion, it's even better. You know, that's why we're very supportive of stores like this that do events like this or that set up the lounges because people need to come in and relax. You know, a lot of you guys are here on a Saturday and you guys just want to sit back and relax. So I'm really happy and honored you guys are here so I can spend some time with you guys talking to you about our products. Now, as we realize that the 1962 becomes extremely popular, then we say, okay, people aren't that scared of Camacho. They're willing to try medium body cigars. So I start working. While coming up with this project, I was working on another one that was really a strong cigar called a Triple Maduro. Are you guys familiar with this cigar yet? No? Shame on you guys. Oh, yeah, hey. All right, listen. Triple Maduro. Wrapper, binder, and filler are Maduro. The cigar looks very intimidating. We have different sizes. We just want to bring this one because a lot of people don't have good eyesight. So this is a 60 by 6. So we come up with a Triple Maduro. The wrapper, the binder, and filler are Maduro. This is when I really start getting very intricate as far as the blends, and they start getting more and more complex every time. Because I want to make sure that every time you guys smoke a different cigar from Camacho, you can look out there. We got 4 or 5 different ones, or six different ones. You know, every time you try them, you got to make sure that when you go from brand to brand, or presentation to presentation, they taste different. So, you know, we had the blend from the first day, but it took me about 10 months to get the burn just right. Triple Maduro, all the tobaccos in are very thick, so you have to give these cigars a very good light. Once you give them good light, these cigars are going to take you for a hell of a ride. They're not as strong as they look. They really aren't that. You know, don't let the look intimidate you. Well, the cigar is good. I'm not going to tell you that it's a mild cigar because it's not. But it's more complex than it is strong. You know, there's this careful balance. And it's really hard to achieve. This careful balance of you know, strength and flavor. I mean, you can make it too strong where you don't taste any flavor. I'm sure you guys have felt that. When you actually take a puff and it scratches your throat and you just didn't get any flavor. It's almost like when you take a slice of pizza and it's too hot, then you just screw yourself up because you can't enjoy the rest of the pizza. Same thing. So what happened here, we had the flavor was here, or the strength was here, then the flavor actually overpassed the strength to the extent that you don't know if it's a full body cigar or not, because the strength is so good, or the flavor is so good and complex. If you have not tried the Triple Maduro, I highly recommend you guys try it. You know. Then we went ahead and last year, I mean, this one was launched in March of 2007. At that time, I started working also on the 10th anniversary. The 10th anniversary was supposed to be launched in October 2007. It was delayed 6 months. And my whole goal behind the cigar was to celebrate 10 years of growing the authentic Corojo. Because as we know so far, we're the only people that still grow this one authentic seed, the Corojo seed, the one I was telling you guys about that originated in Cuba. Unfortunately, we were unable to register the name because the U.S. government did not allow us to re-register the name that the registration expired in 1996. So we couldn't protect the name. That's why you see many brands now with the name Perot on it. So yeah, it was a tough hit for us. We couldn't do it. We just couldn't do it. It's not good because it's the name of the region. So we couldn't do it. So what we did with the 10th anniversary, what made it so challenging, especially for a guy like me, is I like full body cigars. So now I find myself trying to blend a medium body cigar that a full body cigar smoker could enjoy. Because I have to like the cigars that I make. I really do. You know, otherwise I just won't do it. We don't need it. So what we ended up with is a medium body cigar that's creamy. And that creamy part is what I was looking for from the beginning. And it really surpassed our expectations when we had the final blend. This cigar was launched in March. It was March 2008. April 2008, the cigar was introduced. Have any of you guys tried the 10th anniversary yet?
Not right now.
Are you having it right now?
Yeah,
What do you think?
I love it.
You like it? Thank you very much, man. Thank you. It really was. It's about 10 months of work. You better like it.
Yes, I like it.
No, it really was a lot of work on this thing, and we're trying to get the creaminess. I always recommend people when you're going to try a cigar for the first time, try to go for the 50 by 4.5, 50 by 5. That's the one size that I use for blending myself. That's the chassis for all our blends. So that one, I don't know what the other ones taste like, but I guarantee that one's going to taste the way it's supposed to taste. You know? So I'm joking, of course. The blend is kept pretty well on the other side. The 50 by 5 is always the best one. No, actually, the price is usually very fair. It's a 25, 30-minute smoke. Because I know sometimes you can probably spend 10, 12 bucks on maybe a Churchill. And if you don't like it from the beginning, you gotta hit yourself over the head thinking, man, I hate it when I spent 10 bucks on this thing, now I gotta smoke the whole thing. So, you know, start with a 50 by 5, 50 by 4.5. So that's one good concept. I mean, if you really want to get into blends that are complex and intricate, like the 10th anniversary, there's another one that we did that's an exclusive for these guys here, which is called the 1962 limited edition, pre-embargo. What this one is we have very old Cuban tobacco. That's where the cigar is shaped like this. It's thin because we want to make sure that the blend stands out. This cigar is medium to mild. It's not a very strong cigar. The tobacco that's in it's 40-something years old. We don't have that much of this tobacco. When it's gone, it's gone. And when we're done with these cigars, they're done. I mean, these sell here for $25. It really, if you haven't tried one of these pre-embargoes, try it because you really are going to enjoy it. I guarantee you that. And I don't know how many they have here. How many pre-embargoes you get?
I think we have 3 more boxes.
That's it. All right.
There's more in the warehouse.
All right. All right. So you got try 1 or 2. I mean, you guys should try it. Now, every year as we're coming up with all these different blends. You know, there are about 30 or 40 blends that we'd never use because it takes long. You know, you're tasting this with that and this and that, and every year that the more brands we have out, the harder it is to come up with blends that are different. So every year I'm looking for tobaccos from different areas. So you know, I wish I could tell you that this process is fun. It's not, man. I mean, it's a lot of puking, a lot of this. Because the first thing you got to do, you got to take. If you're looking for 5 or 6 different varieties, you got to smoke 100% of this variety. You're A3E. So now you got to try 100% A, 100% B, 100% C. See what they taste like. Then you got to start mixing. So it really is 40 or 50 cigars a day that you're smoking. Not the whole thing, but you're smoking a good amount. To the end that your palate's busted, you know. So let's say I try 50 cigars today. You know, I don't know, 15 stood out. You got to smoke 15 the next day. Then maybe 10 stood out. Then you finally get the last 5, and then the last 5. You have about 1,000 made of each one. Then you take them with you. You got to travel with them. You got to see what they taste like in Miami. You got to see what they taste like in California, Pennsylvania. Different areas you go to, you taste them all the time at different occasions. In the morning, after lunchtime, you do it at nighttime with a drink, beer, wine, scotch. I mean, that's the fun part.
What's the significance of the locations? I mean, you're not shipping different cigars in different areas.
Bro,
you
no.
just mean like
No, you travel with them. But there's a saying that goes, cigars don't make good travel companions. They get aired out. You know, the altitude is different. I mean, you can test yourselves right now. You can smoke the cigar now, take a swig of water, and the flavor's going to change. So if you get an area with a lot of moisture, cigars don't taste as they do in Arizona, where it's dry.
wow. So humidity.
Everything affects them. Everything. Matter of fact, a lot of people, you know, when you put perfume in the morning and you drive and you light the first cigar, the cigar's going to taste terrible. Because tobacco absorbs everything. So tobacco's going to throw that perfume. A lot of guys like to keep the cigars in their room. I tell them, look, get them out of there. You put cologne in the morning, your wife puts cologne or perfume in the morning. All that smell is going to stick to your cigars. So you got to keep it away from everything. Try to seal them. I'm sure Matt here would love to tell you guys the humidor that seal is perfect. So you know, that's when we came up with the different blends. And we take all these things into consideration. Every little thing, every little occasion that people get into, we look at. So because we have 30 or 40 blends that we come up with every year, you know, there's
Now our cigars are going to taste different. It tastes like ass.
Not the proudest moment of my
yeah, they absorb everything. Now,
Now our cigars are going to taste like ass.
Get that up here.
now if you want to taste the flatulence.
Oh man, let's just forget that.
It's on camera now.
That's the blooper reel.
You're gonna be called the YouTube fart guy.
Oh please no.
Flatulator.
Is this going to be on YouTube now?
Yeah.
It will now.
Anyways, see now you just screwed up my whole presentation, man.
Sorry.
Take two.
Double wrap.
Yeah, let's get that up here and sit it down there.
All right, guys. So, anyways, what we have is
Want to bend over again?
No. Shut up.
so the Liberty is a cigar we started back in 2002. You know, in 2002, when we started this whole coming up with different blends, I wanted to come with something that people would like to collect and try different. You know, I like taking. It's pretty much like a guy when he prepares a meal. I want to make sure when a guy tastes a product, he tastes something completely different every time in every presentation. Because I want to fulfill the expectations they have when you look at a product. So we come up with the Liberty every year. First one was 2002, and it's progressed every time. You know, there's one every year. I think 2004 we had two. That was the only year there were two presentations. Every other year, it's just one. It usually comes out June or July that year. This one was launched about 4 weeks ago, last month. So when you get the Liberty, this is a box press barber pull, and this is a creamy flavor. Pretty much like it was inspired by one of the 10th anniversary blends that we're working on. Liberties, we only make 40,000 of these cigars. Only 2,000 boxes are made. And these guys are very good about getting a lot of these. Now, what you guys are going to notice when you try the Liberty, you're going to like it. You're going to want to look for 2007, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then it becomes kind of a fun hobby, trying to see what you can score with. You know, sometimes you go to a cigar store and a guy will recognize the box. The boxes pretty much look the same shape every time. And once you go out there and you find one that goes, hey, what year is that one? And you find that it's a different year. My personal favorite of all was 2005, which had a U.S. flag on the cover. So, but you know, they change every time. This year is more medium body, creamy, which I like a lot. Again, the cigars that we did, the 10th anniversary edition, the medium body cigars that we came up with are cigars that a full body cigar smoker would like. And that really becomes the challenge. But, you know, how many of you guys are hanging out for a while? You guys staying here for a while? Most guys? Listen, come up to me and ask me questions. You know, I love to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. This is what I love, this is what I do. It's part of my fun, and I hope that when we're sitting back there with the factory guys and we're coming up with these different blends and ideas, and I hope that translates into your experience. And that's really what we're looking for. And that's all we can ask for at the end of the day, man. So thank you very much for coming. Enjoy. Matt's going to tell you something about the special. Oh, and before I stop you, actually, after I stop you, we're going to start doing a trip with these guys next year to Honduras. Visit our plantations. Usually the first quarter of the year, we can get with him on the dates. It's a fun time down there. All you got to do is cover your airfare. If you love cigar smoking, this is one trip that you have to take. Whatever the airfare, if it's $1,000 to do it, it's 3 days. We cover your meals, we cover cigars, we cover everything. Once you're down there.
Wow.
No, listen. We use you guys as guinea pigs. You guys will be smoking a lot of cigars, a lot of different blends. We're going to make a few of you guys puke, hopefully.
Well, if we have to.
That way, some others will fart. So, no, part of the fun is a lot of times we'll come out with different blends and we need people to try them. And it's, you know, it's not extraordinary for a guy. Just we had one guy just completely passed out. He smoked a cigar, he passed out. But another guy was hungover, he started smoking, he puked. So you know, it happens all the time. So we use you guys for experience. So I mean, don't be so grateful because we're getting something out of you guys. But all in all, it's a good time. My goal in those trips is to change your cigar smoking experience and your impression of cigar smoking completely. So you're gonna go down there, you're gonna understand how cigars are made, where they come from, everything that goes in. You come to our operation. See, we're vertical, so we grow the tobacco, we ferment it, we make the box, we do everything. We don't depend on anybody else. I mean, we do buy tobaccos from other people, but we don't depend on anybody. So that's what makes our blend so different, and we love showing it to anybody who wants to come down there. Right? So now, I'm sorry, Beth. Go ahead.
That's fine. No problem. Let's give a hand up. So anyway, we have a lot of stuff.